Off late, the markets have really done nothing. While, of course, this year is going to be remembered that of a historic one. But off late, all that we've done is... Sorry.
The month of September.
Because it's the 1st of September, Nikunj.
But
how
like
time
6 months away.
flies.
4 months.
Yeah, but still.
That's
am I
it.
That's
missing
how
on something?
time flies,
I
Nikunj.
know. I just said, am I missing on something's birthday?
Who'd have thought we're already in September? That's what we meant.
I mean, it's the start of winter. Think about it.
Yeah, just think
September, October.
I hope the winter for the market
November,
does not
December.
start. I hope the winter for the market does not start.
But anyway, start of a new series, start of a brand new month. But yes, we continue to be stuck in that range and a tight one at that. Yesterday, of course, we tested that 19,300 print as well, breathed up that and just, lingered around that level. But we managed to snap the 4 series gaining streak actually. And the broader markets, they continue their outperformance. So we've really not seen much of an encouraging move all through this week. Nifty Bank has also snapped its 4 streaks, a 4 series winning streak that it had been latching on to. And it's been a bit of a step back, right? And I'm not talking about IT or pharma outperformance here, Nikunj, but if I just look at what the Nifty has done, fallen 2% in the August series, and the Nifty Bank with a 3.5% cut.
Okay, it's down, but it's not out.
Absolutely.
I don't think there is no momentum on the downside. Now, just add it up with the news flow. Let's say in last 2 or 3 weeks, you had a patchy flows from FIs. You had virtually no large trigger for large cap stocks. If at all, you've had volatility in the macro environment, and globally, inflationary concerns have made a comeback, and Reserve Bank of India also they've loaded their guns back in order to fight inflation. Now, despite that, if Nifty was down just 2% in the month of August, Bank Nifty was down just 3.5% in the month of August, and the small and the mid cap stocks, if they managed to make a new high, that just tells you that the underlying trend in the market, I think, is just on the upside. When the month of August started, the general view was it may be a lackluster month. The downside will be on the downside. The direction will be on the downside. Mid and small cap stocks will start getting jammed. But none of that happened. Despite the news flow being dry, flows being patchy, I think markets have done very well for themselves. You've had the defense wheel, it moves on. Yeah. Power was on a high voltage. Yeah. Railway stocks have done exceedingly well. So the market is not bereft of momentum. We can argue about pace, we can argue about valuations, but directionally, I guess the month of August was not exactly a dry month if you look at market from the standpoint of individual stocks, pockets and themes.
Yeah.
Okay, but just let's quickly give you a summary of how the global markets shaped up. And well, you had a pretty flattish close, but yet it was with a mild negative bias coming in. So mixed close really for Wall Street. And this is following a pretty tumultuous month that we've seen across the board. And of course, now the data point is going to be coming in terms of the non-farm payroll data today. The Asian markets as well, they're holding out actually in the green. So for the most part, it's seeing a positive trend, and that's the Gift Nifty down about 0.2%. But let's map out the kind of trend that we've seen over the last few months. March was negative, but after that, you had 4 consecutive months where there was gains on the Nifty, at least for the entire month gone by, barring the month of August. And that's where you can see it. It was a downtick of about 2% for the entire series. And the reason, Nikunj, we were bringing up the month of September is also because of the fact that historically you have seen that cyclicality play out in the month.
September is a time when you don't normally get a lot of triggers. Earnings season starts from
dry.
October. You pretty much get a sense in which way the second half of the earnings calendar would move. You get a lot already from government in terms of GDP, tax estimates. So historically, September has not been a month where you can actually call the market. It's more like even Steven, and there is a lot of cyclicality. We expected the same for August as well, that there would be a lot of volatility and there would be a lot of cyclicality. But I think one thing is evident, and I purely look at the trade setup, is that the interest in the interest by the FI and by the retail and by HNI in the F&O market, because we're also starting a new series today, I think is light. So this market or the options data or the setting on the table is telling you that the commitment levels are no. Now, when commitment levels are low, that could be an indication that there is underlying disbelief or fear, or if there is a bout of short covering rally, this market automatically will turn very sharply. So I don't know what sequence will play out, whether it would be this light positioning of the market is an indication that commitment levels will remain low, everybody is expecting the market to go low, or because positions are light, little bit of turn in Bank Nifty, little bit of comeback in some of the IT stocks can actually force the short sellers to run for cover, because markets are just dilly-dallying. It's like ping pong happening from last 15 days. So directionally, you will get a sense in September. I mean, August, if you've not got a directional sense, the headline for August for benchmark indices was that it was in a range. I think hopefully in the month of September, you will get a pronounced trend, which is what it appears.
Yeah. But I mean, is the setup looking any different for the month of September?
It's different because commitment levels are low. It's different because the FI positioning is different. It's different because the total net open interest, what you have at the beginning of the series, it's not there. It's different because the Nifty premium, what has been observed in last couple of series, at the beginning of the series, both for Nifty and for the Bank Nifty, is not a very heavy premium. So obviously the trader knows that you do not want to commit a lot at the beginning of the series, considering that last 15 days the Nifty has not given you direction. I mean, you talk to Kunal and Naresh on a daily basis, they would tell you that it's a toss of a coin, 100 points here, 100 points there. And you are going through that phase of the market. Now, whether this is base building, calm before the storm, very difficult to call right now. But I think, in my book, I think markets have done much better than what we were anticipating in the month of August. Despite a flat Nifty with a downward bias, I think mid and small cap stocks, they've substantially surprised us.
Okay, and despite the fact that we're not likely to see too many Qs, Nikunj believes that there could be some sort of a trend or direction for the markets that will be established this month. But let's also take cognizance of the kind of macro data that came out. The GDP for India grew about 7.8% in the April to June quarter. You also had the GDP print, which I think pretty much came in line with what the street was expecting, with the April to June manufacturing sector growth coming in lower at about 4.7%. So Nikunj, how is one really to read into this GDP print, given that I think at least the GDP growth at 7.8% would be taken down well?
No, it's a surprise, and it's a big surprise. Now for the full year, you could be in the range of about 6.2 to about 6.5. So 6.5% for FY24, I think is a very realistic kind of a number. And this is for the second quarter. Largely, the growth momentum has been robust. I was looking at the fine print. The demand momentum is largely because of what is happening to the domestic demand, how credit offtake is moving, and we are talking about a patch when the rural economy has been under pressure. We're talking about a patch where the agrarian, where inflation in a sense was not strong and supportive. What is important here is that the government spending, I think, is going to be strong in the second half of this year, since we are talking about only 4 months are left. So it's going to be strong. GST tax collection has been decent. The indirect tax collection has been also, direct tax collections also have been decent. So net, I think this is a positive number. This is a number which just endorses that you are one of the fastest growing economy in the world. And at a time when other economies are struggling, we looked at the data which has come from Europe. We know what is happening in China. Directionally, the bent of your GDP growth, I think, is strong. The estimates are believable now, and I will not be surprised that if all goes well in the second half of this year, we could be in for a mild upgrade on the print rather than a mild downgrade. The concern which everyone thought post what happened, let's say, post what's happening to the rural economy and how monsoons have been erratic, that you could be in for a mild downgrade. I think post yesterday's number, the mild downgrade becomes a mild upgrade now.